What's going on, everybody? It's Stas here. So in this video, we're going to be talking about a space company that I'm super excited about. They're going public here in the next couple of months, and quite honestly, not too many people are talking about them. And it's no secret, you can see it here on my screen. The company's name is Momentus, and they're actually, and they announced this back on the 7th, they're going public through a definitive merger with Stable Road Acquisition Corp in the beginning of 2021. And at this point, they're trading under ticker symbol SRAC, but when they go public, they'll be on the NASDAQ officially under the ticker symbol MNTS. And if you guys don't know about this company, I'm sure some of you guys don't, most of you guys probably don't. They're a commercial space company offering in-space transportation and infrastructure services, and they're actually looking to be the first publicly traded space infrastructure company at the forefront of the new space economy. Some of the partners include SpaceX, Lockheed Martin, NASA, to name a few, and the combined company will have an estimated enterprise value of approximately $1.2 billion, and pro forma for the transaction, Momentus will have approximately $310 million in cash on the balance sheet. It's going to be funded by Stable Road's $172.5 million of cash held in a trust, and $175 million from a fully committed common stock pipe at $10 per share, including investments from private equity growth investors, family offices, and select top-tier public institutional investors. Momentus graduated from the prestigious Y Combinator program and has raised venture and private funding from notable investors such as Prime Movers Lab, Y Combinator, Tribe Capital, and the list goes on. And the current size of the global space economy, just showing the opportunity here, guys, is expected to grow from an estimated $415 billion to $1.4 trillion by 2030. And many people think the next 10 years here, guys, the next decade is where the space economy is going to blow up, and it's kind of the next big thing. That's what a lot of people are saying, and I personally agree with that. With the significant market opportunity in the new space economy, Momentus is well positioned to address the need for in-space transportation and infrastructure services. Utilizing a multi-pronged approach, Momentus is developing capabilities to provide critical infrastructure services, in-space transportation, satellite as a service, which I'm excited about that, and in-orbit services. The company has strong momentum from the rapidly expanding small satellite market, which is seeking low-cost and regular launch access to orbit. Momentus's customers include satellite operators, satellite manufacturers, launch providers, and defense primes such as Lockheed Martin and government agencies such as NASA. And as of September 30th, 2020, the company had customer contracts which represent approximately $90 million in potential revenue over the next several years. Momentus is creating the first hub-and-spoke model in space by offering last-mile delivery in partnership with key launch operators, including SpaceX. Momentus offers its customers significantly more affordable access to space by combining the capabilities of low-cost launch vehicles and Momentus's transport and service vehicles powered by water plasma propulsion technology. Momentus plans to expand its offerings by providing a satellite-as-a-service model for hosted payloads and an in-service model for satellite deorbiting, life extension, refueling, and repositioning. In 2019, the company successfully tested its water plasma propulsion technology in space. So you guys have an overview right now of what's going on with Momentus, kind of what it does and in a brief sense. Now let's talk a little bit more about it. This is actually the investor presentation here. You guys can see key partners include SpaceX, Made in Space, In-Space Robotics, and RBC Global Ground Station. And current customers also include Lockheed Martin, NASA, Relativity, and you guys can read all of these, and I'll link it down below in the description box if you want to dive deeper into this presentation. And take a look here. This shows the management forecasting a bit here. At this point, like we mentioned a minute or two ago, they have a strong backlog of revenue, about $90 million in revenue. I mean, you guys can see the growth here from $598 million in 2023 to $1.2 billion in 2024, $1.9 billion, $2.9 billion, $4 billion as the years go on to 2027. And mind you guys, this company's pretty new. It actually was founded in 2017, so I mean it's about 3 years old, and it's really an interesting company. It's doing space transportation services, satellite as a service, and in-orbit services, guys. And the CEO's name here is Mikhail Kakarich. I believe he's from Serbia. He's had companies all of his life, been a serial entrepreneur. He's sold many companies. And honestly, guys, I have to dive deeper into the CEO. And whenever you invest in a company, it's very important to see the CEO, what he's done, and the whole management team at that, because at the end of the day, they're making the decisions for the business. And the vision here of Momentus is a future where humanity is equipped with all it needs to flourish throughout the solar system. The mission is to provide the infrastructure services that support all industry beyond Earth. And like we mentioned before, guys, the market here for the space economy could be up to $1.4 trillion within the next 10 years. So these next couple of slides actually show what Momentus is up to, what they're doing now, what's some long-term goals, and we already talked about space transportation, satellite as a service, in-orbit servicing. That's what they're working on now, some shorter-term stuff, but long-term, they're looking at asteroid and moon mining, some energy and data processing work, and also manufacturing and assembly. And again, I'll link this whole presentation down below in the description box. We can't possibly go over all of it since the video will be too long, but I want to focus mostly on what they're doing now. They're currently using a hub and spoke model in space, and Momentus makes access to space significantly more affordable by combining rideshare launch with low-cost last-mile delivery through the hub and spoke model, which we just mentioned. And arriving in space atop of large reusable rockets like the Falcon 9, our transfer vehicles will carry customer satellites to very specific custom orbits. After final drop-off, our vehicles are expendable but will be reusable in the future. And look at the model here, guys. It launches off Earth. Step 1, rocket carries transfer vehicle with satellites to the initial orbit. Step 2, the transfer vehicle carrying satellites separates from the rocket. You guys can see it here. And step 3, the transfer vehicle delivers satellites to custom final orbits. And the fourth step, the transfer vehicle deorbits or refuels and returns to the initial orbit for reuse. And I know a lot of you guys are visual learners, so take a look here at this video on YouTube, and let me try and just mute this. There we go. We'll mute that, and we can see here Santa Clara. That's where it is, and this is kind of showing you a demonstration of what's going on. So this is the rocket here, and the the Vigoride, which is what we're going to take a look at here in a second. That's one of their products. It's gonna take these satellites up to orbit. So take a look. The rocket here is gonna take off. Boom, blast off. There we go, guys. Let's fast forward a little bit here, so we don't waste too much time. But you guys can see there. Actually, no. Wait. Let's go back. You guys can see that is where, yep, that's the Vigoride. It's somewhere in here, and you can see it's floating in space. It pops off. There we go. I believe, yep, there it is. Vigoride separates from launch vehicle. There it is, guys. And it's crazy. This is actually the size of a person, I believe. We'll see the model in one of the later slides. There it goes, guys. Begins first orbital transfer maneuver. And this is what they're working on. I mean, this is great stuff, especially as space is being commercialized. Starlink, everything that's going on with there, SpaceX, Blue Origin. We know that that's the future. So it's proceeding to the next customer orbit there. Orbit transfer services. and it's just awesome, guys. This is the future here for sure. So yeah, this is what it's doing. Rapid constellation deployment. So you guys get the point, right? So this is the Vigoride, what you guys just saw in that video. And again, like I said, it's literally the size of a human, an average person, right? And the Vigoride has been designed to be capable of launching on most large, mid-size, and small rockets thanks to its compatibility with many modern launch interfaces such as ESPA Grand. Once in orbit carrying your satellite or cargo, we believe Vigoride will be able to change orbital planes, adjust inclination, and deliver to altitudes up to 2,000 kilometers. Or if you prefer, Vigoride will be able to stay with your payload, providing more than 1 kilowatt of power, communication, attitude control, and orbit maintenance for the duration of your mission. And a couple of other products they're working on are the Arteride. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's a bit bigger. And then an even bigger one is the Fervoride. And we can go back to that presentation and take a look here at, again, they're a new company, right? 2018 was the first hire. They just inked that deal with SpaceX a couple months ago. They have $90 million signed in contracts, and we are right here. And we do have some launches coming up here. The first one, the earliest one, is in December, literally 2 months away from when I'm filming this video. So there's a lot going on with this company, a lot of momentum. You guys can see the rapid growth in space transportation. In 2010, 70 satellites were moving. 2019, 493 satellites, and now by 2030, 10,000 plus satellites, right? So you guys can see the massive opportunity in this market, and just honestly, the commercialization of the space market, it's real. It's happening right before our eyes. And you guys can see a couple of visuals here of the Vigoride, the Arteride, the Fervoride, and if we scroll down a bit further, you guys can see how this has been developed and kind of what stage in the process we're in with these different models of the Vigoride itself. The Vigoride version 1, you guys can see it's been developed and built. It's gone through the process. It's been tested and it's flight ready. The version 2, it's been developed. It has a flight delivery here, and it's not quite yet tested and it's not quite yet flight ready, but it's getting there. And you guys can see the V2.1. It's also in the works. So I'm very excited about this company, guys. It's a first mover. It has $90 million in signed contracts. It's working with SpaceX, Blue Origin. We have a bunch of other customers in the pipeline. And in terms of the forecasted numbers, we briefly talked about this earlier. You guys can see it here again. By 2027, they're expecting revenue at $4 billion and gross profit at about $2.6 billion, which is around a 67% profit margin. That is unbelievable. And yeah, I mean, these aren't certain, no doubt about it. They are not certain, but there is a lot of growth there, and the management does expect a ton of upside in this company. And you guys have to realize you're not going to get rich tomorrow. This is going to take a lot of time. But if the space industry becomes what people think it will, and Momentus executes, there's going to be a lot of upside in this stock, right? And speaking of the stock, let's pull up ThinkOrSwim right now, which is the charting software that I personally use, and we can see it here. It's trading under ticker symbol SRAC right now, Stable Road Acquisition Corp, and the stock hasn't really moved much. I mean, it's kind of quiet. It's been at $10 really ever since the merger was announced on the 7th. It really hasn't done much. I mean, that day it went up to $11.50, but it's cooled off since then. So I think if you get in now, and by no means is this financial advice, guys, but I feel like if you get in now, you're kind of getting in before the hype. And that's kind of just my opinion. We haven't seen a big rally like we've seen with a lot of these other companies that have gone public through SPACs and so forth. I mean, we've seen some go ballistic, and this one really hasn't done much. And there's a lot of upside in the next couple of years, in my opinion. So keep an eye on it, guys. And mind you, in the next couple of months, it's not going to be trading under SRAC anymore. It's going to go to MNTS, and it's going to be under the NASDAQ. But overall, that's it for this video. We ran over the company as efficiently as we could. We saw the launch video. We dove into some numbers. Now, I want to know what you guys have to think down below. Are you buying this? Are you staying away? Are you interested in it? Are you just watching it for now? Let me know down below in the comments. And if you guys enjoyed the video, hit the like button for me. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and make sure to also get your 2 free stocks from WeBull. Those are valued up to $1,600 and are linked right down below in the description for you guys to get. So I'll catch you all in the next video. Thanks for watching. As always, stay safe out there, guys. Peace out.